Seen movies that try and create futuristic visions of robots or artificial intelligence. While those representations of AI can be fun, they most of the time are not very accurate. Robots and artificial intelligence do not behave in the real world the way they are portrayed in movies and television. However, some of the features and capabilities of AI are accurate, or at least as close as they can be for the story. So let's break down some of the basic features of AI that you can find in the movies. First, there's machine learning. Sounds futuristic? It really isn't. Machine learning is simply taking a model to make predictions or precise sorting. Machine learning uses data mining to find patterns, so teaching an AI to predict values based on historical data, classifying data based on its similarity or lack of similarity to other data. You also have things like anomaly detection. Have you ever gotten a text message from your credit card company that they noticed an unusual charge from a foreign country that you'd never been to? They probably found that charge using anomaly detection. You also have features like computer vision. Computer vision is just that, it's visual processing. Things like image classification, training a model to classify images based on its content. These are pictures of dogs, these are pictures of babies, these are pictures of flowers. Then you have object tagging. This dog is wearing a collar. This baby is holding a pacifier. You also have deeper understanding of images with image analysis. So that extracts information from images to summarize the scene in the image. The dog and the baby are in a field of flowers. Of course, we're all familiar with face detection. Face detection locates human faces in an image. Now, this can be used to recognize individuals based on their features, determine approximate age, gender, or even their current emotion. And we're all familiar with language processing, the ability to analyze or interpret text in documents, email messages, and other sources. So language processing can even determine the sentiment of a text. Companies can use language processing to determine if customers are posting positive or negative reviews of their products. Language processing also allows AI to interpret the spoken language and create spoken responses, like Siri or Alexa. It can also automatically translate spoken or written phrases between languages. Language processing can interpret commands given to it and then take the appropriate action. Again, very much like Siri and Alexa do today. All of these features we can find examples of in television and film. Let's take a look.
These computers give us instant access to the state of the world, troop movements, Soviet missile tests, shifting weather patterns. It all flows into this room and then into what we call the Whopper computer.
Whopper, what is that?
It's a War Operation Plan Response. This is Mr. Richter. Paul, would you like to tell these gentlemen about the Whopper?
Well, the Whopper spends all its time thinking about World War III. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, it plays an endless series of war games using all available information on the state of the world. The Whopper has already fought World War III as a game, time and time again. It estimates Soviet responses to our responses to their responses, and so on. Estimates damage, counts the dead, then it looks for ways to improve its score.
But the point is that the key decisions of every conceivable option in a nuclear crisis have already been made by the Whopper.
So what you're telling me is that all this trillion-dollar hardware is really at the mercy of those men with the little brass keys?
That's exactly right. Whose only problem is that they're human beings. But in, 30 days, we could replace them with electronic relays. Get the men out of the loop.
Gentlemen, I wouldn't trust this overgrown pile of microchips any further than I could throw it. And I don't know if you want to trust the safety of our country to some silicone diode.
General, nobody is talking about entrusting the safety of the nation to a machine, for God's sake. We'll keep control, but we'll keep it here at the top where it belongs.
All right, gentlemen. I think I'm going to recommend McKittrick's idea to the president, and I'll get back to you on this.
Because of my particular fondness for this film, I had to include War Games from 1983 in this. Even though the computer features are more, say, analog than computers today, it does depict some AI features like data mining, predictions, classification. There's also scenes in the film where they depict speech to text and text to speech. It's a great film, and if you haven't watched it in a while, I highly recommend it. Now let's take a look at some things that are slightly more futuristic.
Stop. Put up 48, 47, and 2181 side by side. They're identical. Translate. A boy and a girl. It's impossible.
Why?
Two people can't have identical DNA. One of these isn't real. It's a copy. They were both processed at the Moral Coal Orphanage. Says the girl died there. Genetic disorder. Galatian syndrome. And the boy disappears.
Where's the orphanage?
You wanna go for a ride?
Blade Runner 2049 from 2017, I consider to be an underrated film. However, in that particular scene, what was actually doing the anomaly detection? It wasn't the computer, it was the replicant.
A road diverges in the desert. Lexus. The road you're on, John Anderton, is the one less traveled. Make sure you are on time.
Good evening. You can move the old-fashioned John Anderton. 20 minutes down provides gourmet cuisine. John Anderton. You can use a Guinness right about now. Stressed out, John Anderton.
Escape from it all, Harrison. Get away, John Anderton. Forget your troubles. What's so, John?
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you?
Mr. Yakamoto.
Hey, Miss Belfort, did you come back for another pair of those chamois lace-ups?
Leading up to the making of Minority Report in 2002, Steven Spielberg met with many scientists and futurists to understand what the world was going to look like 50 to 80 years later. He met with so many, in fact, that it's often been commented that he met with a Yankee Stadium of scientists and futurists. They got a few things right. Facial recognition was not one of them.
Please wait as your individualized operating system is initiated.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh. Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm well. How's everything with you?
Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Oh, what do I call you? Do you have a name?
Yes. Samantha.
Really? Where'd you get that name from?
I gave it to myself, actually.
How come?
'Cause I like the sound of it. Samantha.
Wait, when did you give it to yourself?
Well, right when you asked me if I had a name, I thought, yeah, he's right, I do need a name. But I wanted to pick a good one, so I read a book called How to Name Your Baby, and out of 180,000 names, that's the one I like the best.
Wait, you read a whole book in the second that I asked you what your name was?
In 2/100ths of a second, actually.
So do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Well, I take it from your tone that you're challenging me. Maybe because you're curious how I work? Do you want to know how I work?
Yeah, actually. How do you work?
Well, basically, I have intuition. I mean, the DNA of who I am is based on the millions of personalities of all the programmers who wrote me. But what makes me, me, is my ability to grow through my experiences. So basically, in every moment, I'm evolving. Just like you.
Wow. That's really weird.
Is that weird? Do you think I'm weird?
Kind of.
Why?
Well, you seem like a person, but you're just a voice in a computer.
I can understand how the limited perspective of an unartificial mind would perceive it that way. You'll get used to it. Was that funny?
Yeah.
Oh, good, I'm funny. So how can I help you?
Oh, it's just more that everything just feels disorganized. That's all.
You mind if I look through your hard drive?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with your emails. You have several thousand emails regarding LA Weekly, but it looks like you haven't worked there in many years.
Oh, yeah. I think I was just saving those because I thought maybe I wrote something funny in some of them. But...
Yeah, there are some funny ones. I'd say there are about 86 that we should save. We can delete the rest.
Okay.
Okay? Can we move forward?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So before we address your organizational methods, I'd like to sort through your contacts. Oh, you have a lot of contacts.
I'm very popular.
Really? Does this mean you actually have friends?
Well, you just know me so well already.
There is a lot to unpack in Spike Jonze's 2013 film, Her. First of all, the AI represented in Her is way more sophisticated than any AI we have today. Secondly, the film really does a deep dive into how AI could potentially outgrow its human masters. Now, each of the clips that we've looked at so far, I really tried to focus in on one or two features of an AI in particular in that clip. In this next clip from the movie Big Hero 6, I wanted to include a scene that had several AI features, all demonstrated at once.
Laser eyes? Tingly fingers? Never gonna happen.
So, what have you been working on?
I'll show you.
Duct tape? Hate to break it to you, bro. Already been invented. Hey. Ow! Dude! Ow!
This is what I've been working on.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion. I was alerted to the need for medical attention when you said, ow.
A robotic nurse.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain?
Physical or emotional?
I will scan you now. Scan complete. You have a slight epidermal abrasion on your forearm. I suggest an antibacterial spray.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's in the spray specifically?
The primary ingredient is bacitracin.
It's a bummer. I'm actually allergic to that.
You are not allergic to bacitracin. You do have a mild allergy to peanuts.
Not bad. You've done some serious coding on this thing, huh?
Uh-huh. Programmed him with over 10,000 medical procedures. This chip is what makes Baymax, Baymax.
Final?
Yeah, going for a non-threatening, huggable kind of thing.
Looks like a walking marshmallow. No offense.
I am a robot. I cannot be offended.
Hyperspectral cameras?
Yep.
Huh.
Titanium skeleton.
Carbon fiber.
Right. Even lighter. Killer actuators. Where did you get those?
Machine them right here in-house.
Really?
Yep. He can lift 1,000 pounds.
Shut up.
You have been a good boy. Have a lollipop.
Nice.
I cannot deactivate until you say you are satisfied with your care.
Well, then I'm satisfied with my care.
He's gonna help a lot of people.
Hey, what kind of battery does it use?
Lithium-ion.
You know, supercapacitors would charge way faster.
Huh.
As I said earlier, none of the depictions of artificial intelligence or robotics in movies is completely accurate, particularly not how AI functions today. But it is fun to try and pull out what does exist as far as the features and capabilities of AIs when they're represented in film. I hope you had fun doing this little analysis with me. It's certainly something that I enjoy doing. My name is Dave Dixon. This has been Tech Goes to the Movies. We'll see you next time.